bishops, other officers, clergy, and lay delegates. My name is Tom Kennedy, and I'm here to introduce to you the Boston Episcopal Charitable Society. I'm pleased to be here along with my fellow trustee, Pam Mathews. She will give a presentation along with Maggie Arnold, who has been doing our 300th anniversary history. This is the first time that our remarks on the anniversary of the Boston Episcopal Charitable Society have addressed a Diocesan Convention. So it is a great privilege that we are doing this now amongst all of you. The Society has been a constant in the first colony, Bay Colony, and then the state Commonwealth of Massachusetts for over 300 years. And I share with you now a quote from Bishop William Lawrence, who addressed the Society at the Cathedral Church of St. Paul in 1924. He said, "Those who founded this society were human. They were humane as well as intelligent in creating traditions in the manner of distribution of aid, whereby not humiliation or insult, but gratitude and self-respect would accompany the gifts. Thus, our gifts of aid remain in the same spirit of the society as when it was founded. Dare quam acceptare. It is indeed more blessed to give than to receive." I now ask Pam Mathews, who will share with you the work of the Society and then give you an overview with Maggie Arnold of the history that is being put together. Pam.
Thank you, Tom. So good afternoon, everybody. This is my first convention, and here I am, up at the podium. My job is to take you through 6 slides that just give an overview of the society. It might be a review for some people, but also an introduction for others. And we're on the How We Began slide. As Tom said, the Boston Episcopal Charitable Society has been around for a long time. We were established by a small group of Anglicans in 1724, and the original mission was to improve the lives of deserving Anglicans in Boston through direct financial support. 300 years later, we're doing much of the same work. Our mission is to carry on the vision and compassion of the funders. We view ourselves as a financial resource for the clergy of the Episcopal Diocese of Massachusetts, so they may assist needy individuals within their congregations. Over the last 15 years alone, the Society has distributed $3.6 million, and that has benefited more than 3,400 individuals across the diocese. This slide just shares a few facts about the Society today. Our money does not come from the budget. It comes from an endowment that has grown to over $6.5 million. And we typically make an annual draw of up to $250,000 for grants and administration. We continue to be a membership society with 65 members who pay annual dues of $80 a year and are invited to come to the annual meeting. We have a board of 15 trustees and are chaired by a diocesan bishop, and in this case today, it's Carol Gallagher. Society approves grants that help individuals in a variety of ways, and these include short-term or partial rental or mortgage assistance, emergency heat and utility payments, basic food and clothing needs, childcare expenses, prescription medicine, and medical supplies. And we also get requests for grants for other needs that we review and approve almost all the time. three different kinds of grants that clergy can request. The first are one-time grants, and these provide short-term financial assistance for individuals who are experiencing financial hardship. In a typical year, we give out about 5 to 10 of these grants, and the average grant amount is $1,700. The second are quarterly grants, and these provide ongoing annual support, primarily to elderly congregants to supplement restricted incomes. Currently, there are 9 quarterly grant recipients, and they receive an average of about $6,600 each year. The third type of grant is a parish block grant, and these are grants for congregations, particularly those serving lower income areas, that are then distributed by their clergy at their discretion. In a typical year, we award 10 or more parish block grants, and the average congregational grant amount is $6,400. And in the end, about 150 to 200 individuals benefit from the distribution of these funds every year. And actually, the way that I got to know the Boston Episcopal Charitable Society was I was the development director at St. Stephen's Youth Programs in the South End. And we received these block grants and enabled our clergy to help members of the congregation and also the families that we touched in the community. And it was not only important for those individuals, but also took a tremendous amount of pressure off of our operating budget so that we could just focus that on programming. This is my last slide. One of the reasons we're here today is that we are celebrating our 300th anniversary, and this involves a number of activities that have been organized by our 300th anniversary committee. First of all, we're hoping to increase our society membership from 65 to 300 in our 300th year. So if any of you here want to become members, we've got lots of spots. You can come see us after the presentation. We're planning a gathering in the spring to celebrate the anniversary. And last but not least, we've organized the documentation of the Society's history. And this is being done by the Reverend Dr. Maggie Arnold, and her work is almost complete. And now I'm going to hand this presentation over to her she'll give you some highlights of what she's found.
Hey everyone, I'm Maggie Arnold, and it's been a great privilege to get to work on this history. It's been really fascinating, and I've been helped by some wonderful folks in our diocese, including Lynn Smith, Diocesan Archivist, and Cynthia Staples, the Archivist Parish Historian at Trinity Copley Square, among others, especially the Reverend Gardner Shattuck, who has been invaluable with reading through the material. So this organization is the second oldest continuously operating charity in North America, which is pretty impressive. When they were founded in the early 18th century, Anglicans were actually a religious minority in Massachusetts. It was a Congregationalist society. And so the Anglicans, even though there were leaders in the society that were Anglicans, numerically they were small and there were very few parishes. So they banded together to have this kind of insurance program. They all chipped in a little money, and it was for members of their extended families who had fallen on hard times. It was an acknowledgement that life in that society was very precarious. There were infectious diseases and fires and early deaths, and all kinds of things could throw people's lives into chaos. So that was what this money was used for. It was also used to help build new Anglican parishes, including the parish we now know of as Trinity Copley Square. They lent some of this money for that building. Also St. Paul's Church in Dedham, which notoriously never paid back the loan. Anyhow, the society itself fell on very hard times during the Revolution, as you might imagine, being an Anglican organization. They lost almost all the money they had because the treasurer took it home in a box for the duration of the war, and then it was gone by the time the war was over, so they really had to reform and start from scratch at that point. So the second century, the 19th century, saw a really significant shift in the fortunes of the society. They became part of the establishment of this region, and their finances grew, and they contributed money to founding a lot of institutions around the Commonwealth, including the Massachusetts General Hospital. Members helped found the MFA, and so it became a really a different kind of organization, not so much insurance for the members' families, but more of a charitable organization for people in the region. And they wrestled with some issues during that time. Around the sort of Gilded Age, late 19th century, people wanted to change the way that charity worked. Not so much just giving handouts, but doing systemic social change to remove large problems. And they wanted to found big institutions to deal with those problems. And the BECS really decided that that was not for them. They faced a point at which someone gave them money and a house to try to build a shelter, and they had a huge debate over this. And they decided we were founded on the basis of trying to give dignity and respect to people who, through no fault of their own, their lives were hard. And they just wanted to be able to ask someone, look, I am a little short this month. Can I just have that money to stay in my home, to feed my family, to continue to keep my kids in their school? And there is a great argument to be made for thinking, how would I want my sister or my aunt or my grandmother, because the recipients are almost always women and always have been, just to give them the dignity of saying, okay, here. And I've spoken with many people who've received money from this organization, and they speak to how life-changing it was to have their need respected. Not to say, oh, you have to go fill out all these forms or jump through all these hoops or go in this enormous institutional path to getting whatever help we think you need. But just tell us the help that you need, and we'll give it to you. And this organization continues to do that to this day, and I don't think it's well known enough that rectors and parishes can seek this help, these grants, in offering this kinds of assistance in their communities today. And so we owe a great debt to the faithfulness of all these generations who continued to prioritize seeing people in need as members of their family.
Thank you very much, Maggie. The work that Maggie has done has been significant for the society, and I also want to put in a plug for archives. She has dug into archives not only at the diocese, but the Mass Historical Society and other libraries to gain knowledge of our history, which is so important as it informs what we are doing today. What we're doing today is indeed humble but profound work. It's quiet, but it makes a difference in people's lives, and we are grateful for the hand of the past that has supported this society. Just to give you an idea of the importance of investment, in the report in 1954, the endowment of the society was $225,000. As I stand here today, the endowment is in excess of $6.5 million. I guess we have to thank Mr. Market, but we also have to thank those in the past who have been generous to the society that has allowed us to continue to do the work that we do today. And we enjoin all of you to join us. You can certainly become a member of this society and help to strengthen our hand as we go forward. So I thank you for the opportunity to be before you, and you have a resolution before you regarding the Boston Episcopal Charitable Society. I believe it is up on the screen. No, it's not on the screen. It'll be up
It
later.
will come later, I promise.
So thank you very much for the opportunity to present what we think is wonderful work that all of you can participate as we go forward. Thank you again.